Hello everybody, welcome back to Easy Weeknight Cooking with Heart's Desire Spice Blends. And what are we doing tonight? Chili bowl rubs. They're so good and they don't have to be hard. Some sort of roast, chili bowl spice, Provincial poultry seasoning, liquid smoke of all things, and for those who want it, some sort of salt. We're actually going to do it without the salt tonight, and we're just going to be using our spices and liquid smoke. But if you want to add the salt in there, there's a place for it, honest. So our recipe is right in the description. Go ahead and check it out, and let's get cooking. We're going to need 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. We've got it right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to rub this all over our roast. And that's going to soak in and give something for our spices to stick to. So I'm going to give just a little bit of a drizzle there. Go ahead and rub it in, rub it in. Turn us over. Give me more of a drizzle all over this roast. Just go ahead and rub it all over the roast. And this is going to give it a lot of really salty flavor without the salt. We have ways of making it taste salty. So we've gone ahead and rubbed that in. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick and I'll go on to the rest. Yes! What we have here is 2 tablespoons of Provincial poultry, 2 tablespoons of chili bowl. Go ahead and pour those on into right next to each other. And if you're going to be using salt, up to about a teaspoon of salt. We found that more than that was actually too salty. And so go ahead and mix that bad boy up. So it's going to turn kind of gray, but it's all good stuff. And make sure that's very well combined. We don't want a bunch of poultry here and a bunch of chili bowl there. We want a really homogeneous flavor there because we're going to be putting this all over the roast. That's what we're looking at. We start off by just sprinkling it over one side, patting it in, then going on to the next side. Now the moisture on your roast is actually going to help the spices stick. And sometimes you're going to be getting flaps and crevices and stuff like that in your roast, like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit in the crevices, under the flaps. So what is this roast that we're dealing with tonight? This is a pork picnic roast. So I've done all sides of this roast, and there's bits that are, bits of the roast that are shining through. Some of it's really covered well, some of it's not. And so now we're going to go to the second round of sprinkle and pat. So this is our mixture of chili bowl and Provincial poultry. Now you can use not just Provincial poultry, but you can use our Italian herbs. That with chili bowl is awesome. Ooh. Or you can use Greek. Have fun. Seriously, have fun. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull apart all the little crevices and make sure I get spices in all little crevices. And also, anywhere there's kind of like a bald spot, I'm going to make sure that the spices are all over it. I am just going over, and if there's kind of not enough spice or if there's a lot falling off, you can actually rub your roast on your bowl. And oh man, that goes great. So I've got a big old flap here that I'm going to go ahead and just press the spices into. And that's going to be giving us a ton of flavor later. I've got a bald spot over here. Go ahead and press the spices into that. And really, that is super simple. We've got a roast that is just so covered in spices. It's amazing. And so we're going to let this sit for at least half an hour before we put it in the oven. And for a pork roast like this, has a lot of fat in it. You can put this in the oven at 250 for a low, slow roast. Oh my word, it is so good. You only want to do that with roasts that have a lot of fat content in them, or else you come out with this tough, dry thing. I I've got a roast right over here that has been on the smoker for the last 3 hours with a rub like this. Oh my gosh, I've already had a little hunk of it. Oh, heaven. There you go. There's our roast. It's ready to be tied if you're going to tie it. And this thing is so ready. So that's going to sit for at least half an hour. I'm going to rinse my hands and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it comes off. Oh, baby, you got to see this. We did the same thing on that one's sister roast. They came in a 2-pack. Sweet. I get to put that one right in the freezer and cook it low and slow some other time. So what do we got here? Look at that, baby. Oh, yes. It's still steaming and all. This guy was on our smoker for over 3 hours at about 250. And it smells so, so good. So I think it's time to cut into this baby. It's been sitting and resting for about 10 minutes now. And you always want to let your roasts rest after they come out of the oven. That allows all those juices that are going to express out of the roast to not only express, but also be soaked back up. And oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. But you want those juices to soak back up so that you've got a really juicy roast as well as something nice and tender. So, directions for use. Always click 3 times before you use it. Repeat every 2 minutes. So what do we got? We've got this guy who just came off off our smoker. I tied this guy. Whoopsie, come back here. I tied this guy, so let's take the strings off. And there's another one. And when you tie your roasts, you're going to want to use an all-natural fiber when you tie them. Something all cotton, linen, that kind of thing. Because oftentimes your synthetic fibers can melt or leave a weird flavor in your meat. So what we have here is a dry rub using our chili bowl. And oh my gosh, would you look at that? The smoke ring on that is incredible. And chili bowl and Provincial Poultry, and we put this on the smoker for about 3 hours at 250. And oh boy, does this look good. Oh yes. So here we go. For those of you who are not used to smoking meats, you will absolutely find a band of pink around the outside. That's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. That means a lot of that smoke flavor is actually pulled into the meat to at least that depth. And so we are going to go ahead and put some of these guys in there. Oh, would you look at that? Oh my gosh. Look at this. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Look at that crust. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So there you go. That is a chili bowl Provincial Poultry rub. If you're getting off the salt, go ahead and use that Tsp Liquid Smoke on your roast before you put the spices on there. Mix up your spices. Use them 50% chili bowl, 50% Provincial Poultry. I usually start off with about 2 tablespoons of each, and that will do a roast that size. That was a 2-pound roast. And mix up the spices together, pat them onto your roast, and let it sit for about half an hour before you put it in the oven for the appropriate time and temperature, and there you go. You've got yummy, yummy stuff. And, because it can. Nice and tender. Okay. That's awesome. That is really awesome. It just about fell apart as I was trying to grab one bite. It didn't work just to grab one bite. It did fall apart. It's juicy. There's a lot of great flavor there. There's a little bit of heat from the chili bowl. A lot of great flavor from the excuse me, Provincial Poultry. And the smoke flavor just adds so much. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So good. So now I need dinner. Anyway, so there you have it. Great home cooking. You can throw this on your smoker, and if you're going to throw it on your smoker, you probably want to omit the Wright's Liquid Smoke, because smoke from a smoker is just so much better. But if you're doing this in the oven, add the Wright's Liquid Smoke. That can be your mystery ingredient with the spices, and everybody will go gonzo. So from our kitchen to yours, that's easy weeknight cooking, and keep things tasty.